Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from the Crypto Basic. Expert says XRP is the last true cult left in crypto. Ships nothing, but XRP could still outperform most coins. I always said the XRP community is not a cult. It's a family of like-minded people that can see where this cryptocurrency is going. They all know what they hold. But everybody always said the XRP community is cult-like. Well, usually in a cult, you end up drinking the Kool-Aid, and we all know what happens next. But if we are in a cult, this is going to be a cult where we all get rich in the end. It's going to be much different than cults that you might have heard of before. But I always looked at us more of a family than a cult. Take a listen to this.
Everybody is being fooled in the crypto world. Everybody except for just a couple of few. And they call us the weird XRP conspiracy community people. The people who have the eyes on the truth the most are called the weirdos, and the people who are being, tinfoil hat and making it up. Very interesting and funny. How hilarious to me. This cracks me up.
We were always called conspiracy theorists as well. Remember, every narrative around XRP was just a conspiracy theory. The banks are never going to hold XRP. Nobody's going to utilize XRP for its actual use case. But look at what's happening now. XRP is already getting integrated. We already found out along the way that Bank of America is utilizing XRP internally for all of their transactions. Every time they called us a conspiracy theorist, they were always missing the point. They could never see past Bitcoin. They were blinded by Bitcoin. Just wait until XRP flips their precious Bitcoin. That time is coming as well. But it goes even beyond crypto. Most people in the XRP community, they're well aware of all the real world events that are playing out in real time as well. The single most bullish XRP photo you'll see this week. So this is coming from Mason vs. Lewis. This is the single most bullish XRP photo you'll see this week. Why? Because I'm bullish on Bitcoin to get to $5 trillion to $10 trillion. And so are huge institutions plus billionaires. Why does that matter for XRP? Then he goes on to cite how if Bitcoin gets to that market cap, then of course XRP would also climb up due to its market cap. But it goes down that road of we're always going to be following Bitcoin. In that previous video that I just did, Steve McClurg is talking about the decoupling happening, talking about no major crashes on the price of XRP based on utility and what's building out right now, and how everything is about to go full-blown utility-driven in 2026. Everybody loses their whole thought process when they're talking about Bitcoin because they always want you to believe Bitcoin's going to always lead the way in crypto. Everything follows history, and history tends to repeat itself until it doesn't. And I think the time for history repeating itself for Bitcoin is coming to an end. Minister of Finance gave the New Year's address at Tokyo Stock Exchange stock market grand opening ceremony on the 6th, positioning 2026 as the digital year. Right now, other countries are also pushing forward into the digital age. Everything is going digital, and innovation is not slowing down. And this is huge for crypto because as they push into the digital age, crypto is going to be a major player as that happens. And we're going to see how XRP performs when it's no longer tied to Bitcoin due to the digital shift, because innovation pushing forward is leaving Bitcoin more and more in the past. SBI CEO, Ripple now major profit pillar. SBI Holdings CEO Kitao confirmed Monday that the Japanese financial giant's decade-long bet on Ripple Labs has officially matured into a core driver of the company's profitability. And he also joined the board as well. Kitao joins Ripple's board of directors. His appointment replaced the CEO of SBI Ripple Asia. So you see how Ripple is already well positioned with Japan. Remember, Japan was never going to utilize XRP or RippleNet inside of its banking system. That's coming in 2025, but that was once a conspiracy theory. Even Crypto Eddie said, this is never going to happen. It looks like this is already put in motion. Ripple, JP Morgan, G Treasury, and Swift. G Treasury is part of the Swift Certified Partner Program, and we are proud to offer global bank connectivity and hosting options for Swift's alliance. G Treasury is also working with JP Morgan as well. You know, there was a time where JP Morgan wanted a piece of the XRP escrow. Ripple told them to go pound sand, and that's how we ended up in the Ripple versus SEC case. But I think JP Morgan and Ripple have been working together in the background for a long period of time now. I even think JP Morgan holds quite a bit of XRP as well. Breaking, BlackRock and Ripple partner Securitize says, welcome to 2026, the year of tokenization. One thing I cannot wait for is the first $1 trillion worth of real-world assets to come on board the XRP ledger. I want to see how that factors in with the price of XRP. And we're going to see tokenization start to amp up this year. But it's not just going to happen this year. It's going to continue into 2027, 2028, 2029. That's why I always tell people I don't expect major pullbacks on XRP over the course of the next few years. I think we're just going to see upward momentum for XRP, not only in 2026, 27, 28, 29, but it's going to go even beyond 2030 also. But along the way, we're going to watch XRP's price appreciate. So if somebody wants to cash out along the way, there's going to be high price points along the way all throughout the next couple of years. 2026, most likely double digits, possibility of 3 digits with scarcity. 2027 could be 4-digit year for XRP. I even think XRP is going to reach 5 digits before 2030. Top investor, it will be a great year for XRP. And look at what they're citing. Shifts towards utility and scale. As that shift continues towards utility and scale, guess what? It leaves Bitcoin behind. And that's going to be the main driver for the price of XRP. Utility is going to start pushing XRP upward. I think it all starts this year. Watch XRP defy expectations with the resilient surge. You know, once XRP surpassed $2, right away, people started getting bullish on XRP again. That excitement started coming back at the same time. And I even looked on this article to see if I could find Motley Fool tied in here, because they say XRP's utility appeal supports its market attractiveness alongside other projects, but potential death cross looms. But indicators show strong upward momentum. They even put in there the death cross. They always have to include that. And then they go on to talk about how there could be a possibility of a crash for XRP. You know, once XRP starts really breaking out, there's going to be so many people trying to convince you that it's only a temporary push upward. There's going to be people calling for crash after crash as well. You got to stay focused in 2026 because this is the year a lot of people are going to make a hell of a lot of money. But you can't sell too soon. You want to be here for those much higher price points. Don't listen to these people. They all want that glory of calling the top. I don't think they're going to get it anytime soon. CTO David Schwartz updates XBio to reflect new 2026 changes. So you see right here, replacing TradFi with decentralization and so on. But the one thing I always liked on David Schwartz's bio is this right here. When a scrappy financial startup takes on a web of corruption and betrayal to bring instant payments to the masses, they learn that the cost of disrupting the status quo is higher than they could ever have imagined, forcing them to decide between their vision and their survival. As we watch XRP momentum pick up speed all throughout the world, because this is a global event, XRP is going to be running on rails inside of all the countries all around the world. And as that starts to happen, anyone that does not get on board with this, they're going to get left behind by this. XRP disrupts the entire banking system. It cuts out the middlemen, it cuts out the fees, and it delivers what everybody wants. Fast, cheap, and secure cross-border payments. Then you got to factor in micropayments as well. PwC deepens crypto push as U.S. rules shift and stablecoins go mainstream. So PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the big four accounting firms, is saying this. They're increasing their focus on crypto clients due to clearer U.S. regulations. The firm plans to expand its involvement in stablecoins and tokenization as part of its growth strategy. PwC aims to enhance its audit and consulting services by exploring the use of stablecoins to improve payment efficiency. It all starts with stablecoins. The difference between Ripple and other networks, between the XRP ledger and other networks, is we have our own stablecoin, RLUSD. RLUSD is the first door opener. That gets the door open at these companies, at these banks, institutions, and so on. Later, they start to utilize XRP. And they don't even have to make any kind of shift. They could just say, okay, instead of using RLUSD, we're now going to utilize Ripple's cryptocurrency, XRP, instead. Payments become even cheaper and even faster. But as stablecoins continue to rise, this also crushes the Bitcoin narrative. Because Bitcoin was always what? Peer-to-peer payments. It failed. Stablecoins, as they start gaining even more momentum, they're going to push Bitcoin into the past. You see where this is going. Bitcoin was always a beta test coin. It was never meant to be something that's utilized inside of a new financial system. That's what XRP was built for. It was always built to replace Bitcoin. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.